Hello everyone, welcome back once again. Today we're going to look at getting started with Blazor inside the Visual Studio 2020. So if you've been wanting to build interactive web apps using C# instead of JavaScript, this is the perfect place to start. Yeah, but before we do so, please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let's get straight into it. So actually, about Visual Studio 2026 topic. Yeah, to get us started, let's make sure we've got all the necessary components. You can do so by opening Visual Studio installer. Once we open a Visual Studio installer, so we got to make sure that we've got this prospect ASP.NET um, and web development. So this will help us build web applications in ASP.NET Core, ASP.NET, and standards web-based technology in HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and whatnot. Yeah, make sure you got this prospect, download and install it before you come to the next stage. If that's not the case, then let's go ahead and open our Visual Studio 2020. Yeah, then create a new project. So on the create a new project dialog here, so let's go ahead on all project types. Let's go ahead and select Blazor. So this will actually play all the potential Blazor templates that we can use inside our Visual Studio. So as you can see, let's quickly have a look at it. So we've got Blazor web app. Yeah, so this is a project template for creating a Blazor web app that supports both server-side rendering and client interactivity. This template can be used for web apps with rich dynamic user interface. Okay, and then we've got the Blazor WebAssembly standalone application. So this is a project template also creating a Blazor app that runs on WebAssembly. This template can be used for web apps with rich dynamic user interfaces. Basically, this is the client side of the Blazor app. Okay, and then if we scroll down, we've got a bunch of stuff. So we've got .NET MAUI Blazor hybrid app. It is also a project creating a .NET MAUI application for iOS, Android, Mac, Catalyst, and whatnot. Yeah. So as you can see, there's a bunch of templates that we can get started with. What we're going to do for this video is we're going to select the first one, Blazor web app. Okay. Then click on next. Here, obviously, we can configure our project details like the project name, solution name, and solution location. Okay. Let's move on to the next. Here, um, here is our additional Blazor configuration. Yeah. Here we can select our .NET framework, select the authentication type, and then select our interactive render mode. Okay. Let's have a look quickly. So under here, we're able to select .NET 9.0, 10.0, which is under preview, and select individual accounts. We can just leave it as it is for authentication. We can also configure our project to use HTTP. And we're just going to leave it as it is, okay? And then we use, let's scroll down here. So we can use both the server and web assembly. So this will actually create two projects for us. One for the server, one for the client with the web assembly. And then we can also create a standalone server, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to select the auto. So this will actually create two projects for us. And then we've got an interactivity location. Let's move on there. So what does this do? It actually chooses which components have interactive rendering enabled. Okay. So let's see what we've got here. So basically, we can do it per page component, or we can do it global. We're just going to leave it as it is. And then we have an option to either include a sample page and whatnot. Yeah. Let's leave it as it is for this video. You can click on and create. So as we can see here now, have the projects created for us. So as we can see here on the left hand side on our inside our solution, we've got two projects. Yeah, we've got the Blazor app 2, Blazor app 2.client. One is for the server, the Blazor app for the server, and the Blazor app 2 client is client. Let's quickly have a look at what is inside. So we've got the dependency which contains the added reference or external reference. And then we've got wwwroot, which contains static files like the CSS, JavaScript, whatnot. Yeah. Let's have a look at what we've got inside components. So basically, the components contains pages, layout, and whatnot. Okay. Then we've got the program.cs, which contains the entry point for the project or for the application. Okay. So as you can see here, we've got this is a program.cs. It contains the configuration and the entry point for the project. So whenever we run it, the project starts with the program.cs. Okay. So let's go ahead and run it. First, we're going to run the server. Go ahead and click F5. So as you can see here now, we've got our first the Blazor running now, and it normally opens also a console with it. Yeah, so this is a console. So if the browser doesn't run, you can always copy the link and then paste it inside the browser to run it. Okay. So as you can see, we've got our first Blazor app running now. So since we've got two projects here, to run both projects, this is what we got to do. So let's select this bit here. So as you can see here, it's got configure startup project. So click on configure startup project, then multiple projects. So here, as you can see, we've got both apps. You can select to run, select to start both apps. From this point here, Blazor app, the server app will run first, then the client will run second. Always make sure that you've got the server run first, that client can talk. Okay, prevent any errors. Once you select this, you can apply the changes, and then okay, there we go. So if we look at it here, got these apps, both of them will run on our next run. Okay, so let me go ahead and run it to see if everything's fine. So I mean, the debugging was actually closed abruptly because the client side doesn't have anything. What normally happens next, obviously, we add some data to the server that the client can talk to the server in terms of, retrieve some data from the server. But since this video, not to complicate us too much, but to get us started, I will leave it here as it is for you to explore it further. Now, also use the Copilot chat, which is something that is very expensive. Have a look at it. So I'll leave this video here now. I've got lots of videos. I will certainly make a follow-up video on all of them. So if you have restriction, got a lot coming up, hope you peace.